Alright, we're here. The Stanley Cup Final. Welcome back to the channel. I try to upload daily hockey content, whether it's from the NHL, minor leagues, or international hockey. Well, here we are. Stanley Cup Final. It's kind of bittersweet doing this because, unfortunately, I just did a video about my team being eliminated, Montreal. But honestly, it is time to do my preview. So, 16 teams played, and we're down to the final two. Coming out of the West, we have the Vegas Golden Knights. Yeah, there's a lot of fans from a bunch of different fan bases that did want to see this team be in the final. For one. Two, mainly Leaf fans don't want to see Mitch Marner, which I find funny. And they're cheering for Carolina, obviously, of course they are. You know, of course they're going to cheer for Carolina. And Mitch Marner currently leads the league in playoff points. Meaning, if Vegas wins the Cup, guaranteed Conn Smythe winner. They had a relatively difficult road to the Cup final. They beat the Utah Mammoth in 6. I believe it was 5 or 6 games. Then they beat the Ducks in 5 or 6 games. And then they swept the President's Trophy winning Colorado Avalanche to make it to their 3rd Cup final appearance. And it's hard to believe in 9 years. 9 years. And this is their 3rd appearance in the final. On the East, we have the Carolina Hurricanes. For the first time since 2006, they made it to the Cup final. And they had the easiest route to the Stanley Cup final. They swept Ottawa in the first round. They swept the Philadelphia Flyers in the second round. And then they beat the Montreal Canadiens in 5. After Montreal just came out of a 7-game series against Buffalo and Tampa. We all know how I feel about that. Montreal did have the hardest road to the Cup final, to the conference final. But they're a young team. Honestly, one team's got the better defense. Carolina's got way better defense. The defense on Vegas is pretty good. But Vegas' offense is what Carolina needs to worry about. If they play defensively, like they did against Montreal, I see the Cup going to Carolina, staying in the East. However, I'm doing my own prediction here. And it's going to the West. I say for their second time, Vegas wins the Stanley Cup. I mean, I would say a sweep. Depends on how games 1 and 2 go. Both games are in Vegas. So, depends on how games 1 and 2 go. If Carolina gets dominated in both games 1 and 2, bring out the Prims. Me personally, it's not going to 7. I said that with Montreal and Carolina. It wasn't going to 7, and I said Carolina was going to win. I'm saying the same thing. It's not going to 7. It's going to end in 5 or 6. If I was Vegas, finish it in 4 or 5. Don't let it go to 6. But I do say it's going to Vegas, and the Conn Smythe winner, to the chagrin of Leaf fans everywhere, Mitch Marner. He's going to be a pivotal factor. He was a pivotal factor in the playoffs. He's going to be a pivotal factor in Vegas' Cup win and Vegas' Cup win next year. They're pushing that narrative. Let's just say the NHL is pushing the narrative of, Toronto fans call a player a cancer, and then they are key contributors to back-to-back Cup wins. Larry Murphy was one. The Leafs traded them to the Red Wings. The Red Wings win back-to-back Stanley Cups. Phil Kessel, notable. That's the most recent one. He was labeled as fat. He was labeled as lazy. They traded them to Pittsburgh, and what do you know? Key factor in 2 back-to-back Cup wins for Pittsburgh. They ran Marner out of the Leafs, and look at Marner now. 21 points in the playoffs, leads the league. He's gonna win the Conn Smythe. Everyone's gonna vote for him because stick it to Toronto. And I see that happening. I see him winning the Stanley Cup, and I see him winning it again next year. But you never know what can happen. So my final prediction. Vegas in 5. 5 or 6. But anyways, that's it for this one. This is Colin from Talking Puck signing out. Have a good one. And we'll see you later on tonight.